financial problems, elder law, criminal law, tax problems, business matters, divorce, personal injury, bankruptcy, your life, your reality. Life is complicated. There is the law and there is reality. Welcome to Law and Reality, sponsored by THAV GROSS. Now here's your host, Ken Gross.
Welcome to this segment of Law and Reality. Today's topic is DTD, Revisited. Death, tax problems, and debt problems.
That's not the concert venue.
No. Brian Small, good morning.
No, it's not called DTD.
Yeah, that was
it's Pine
DTE.
Knob. It's Pine Knob. It was always Pine Knob. It never became DTE.
DTD,
It's
not
okay.
DTE.
It's okay.
All these people that wanted to call it DTE Energy Theater were just wrong.
It's okay. You're
Good
gonna be
morning,
okay.
Brian Small.
It's gonna be
Well,
okay.
well, you know, my wife has this new app on her Apple Watch that addresses how much stress is in your life, and the lower your score, the more stressed you are. She's in the mid-range, perfect, says perfect. I put the damn thing on and it went down to like 12. Apparently,
you really just, on your wrist, it just says
it
what your number is?
rates your stress. So therefore, thank you for all helping me get more stress this morning by calling it DTE.
The question is, when she's wearing it and you walk in the room,
Right.
Oh, wait, it goes way down, way down.
You would think the number would go up if you're higher stress.
No, the more stress, the lower the number. On
Good
this app.
morning, Jeff Linden.
Good morning.
But good morning.
Where's the watch?
I don't wear a watch. I haven't worn a watch since
So
I was
how do you
19
know what
years
your
old.
stress level
She had
is?
me try it on yesterday, and I was like,
It
Oh, I
doesn't
don't-
matter
I-
who's wearing it. It's
His
not.
wife tells him what his stress level is.
yeah.
Good morning, Pat.
honey, you're fine.
Have either of you experienced that watch to see what you
I
know?
have
No,
one.
but
I've
what
been
I
seeing
did, I
that
bought one
app.
of those blood pressure cuffs that you do at home. Oh my God, I started doing that. I could barely sleep it because my blood pressure was up.
Fluctuating or
Just high.
Just knowing what
They
his blood
can put
pressure
you on
is
low
made him have high
sartan
blood
for that,
pressure.
Yeah, I
and
got
it'll
it.
take care of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got it.
blood pressure varies. Is what it's like. The thing that I noticed is you go into a doctor's office or a routine appointment and they take your blood pressure. It's not always accurate.
Well, no,
It's
first
like,
of all,
in fact, my brother-in-law, who's a hospitalist, said to me, have him take it twice. And if the number comes out consistent, it's fine. If it's not, have him take it a third time because those cuffs are not accurate.
well, remember, there's white coat syndrome. People get nervous at the
yeah,
doctor.
plus you get nervous when you go
My
to the
wife
doctor.
has
Right.
white coat syndrome. She goes to the doctor, her blood pressure goes through the roof. We take it at home on a regular basis, it's fine. So it's a
You know,
A
for
real
us
mal- it's a
in
real
our
thing.
office, and especially my office, dealing with the senior people, we try to be jovial and stuff like that because it's the same thing. They're going in to see a lawyer about their bankruptcy or us about the elder law. They're stressed
Stressed.
out. This stuff is serious.
Yeah, I always tell people, I said, I'm here to help. I'm not here to add stress. Because they're like, you're so laid back when I'm meeting with clients, and I'm like, why? Should I add more stress to you? You're already here chewing your
So
fingernails
That's what
off.
you do at your home. You go
So
to your
you-
wife, honey, calm down.
So you're,
Oh yeah. Tell me how that works. Let me know how that works.
you're laid back, but your Apple Watch is saying that your number is
Well,
4.
I'm stressed out for them, but they don't need to know that.
You know, so when in my office, the married couple, last show we talked about the Medicaid planning. Dad's in the nursing home and mom's home, and mom comes in and she is just on death's door because she's so worried about having to put her husband in the nursing home and then worried about spending all the money on the nursing home because she doesn't have any money left over. And the reason I got into elder law, and this is why I tell all my students to get into elder law at Michigan State, is we explain to the wife, we can protect every dime of your money. And we go through the whole conversation how, and the wife goes, last night I prayed to God to send me a sign, and the daughter goes, I think he did. And they looked at me. I said, "Oh my God, that's the
That
greatest
is
thing
that is
ever." When's the last time anyone said that
Yeah.
about a lawyer? Not too often.
That is a
So,
good thing. The thing that I see all the time, going back to the 3-point retirement plan also issue, is the elder couple that is in a situation where they don't have sufficient cash flow for retirement is a horrifically
They are more
stressful
worried
position.
about running out of money than dying. People
Oh,
are more worried
absolutely.
about running out
They
of money.
want to die because they don't have the money.
That is horrible.
Right.
Yeah. And again, we back to the pension. When you don't have a pension and you only have Social Security, it ain't enough.
No.
So you really
No,
have
but
to
and you
plan.
get to the 3-point retirement plan. I'll tell you the biggest problem I'm seeing is people who retire. They've still got the mortgage. Forget they don't have any other debt. Okay,
The
they've
mortgage
still
is
got
a
the
killer.
mortgage, and then they're working it, and they can pay it because they've got two sources of income: his Social Security and her
then
Social
they lose
Security.
one.
And
And
then
then
they
one of them
die.
passes, and now they have
One
one
and a
source
half.
of
Well,
income.
they got 1.5 at that point.
And no, you got
They
his
have
or you
his.
got hers, whichever one was higher.
You know what's funny? A lot of people don't realize.
And people have to they sell their house and have to move into an apartment because they can't afford the mortgage anymore.
A lot of the surviving wives, they don't realize that they get their husband's Social Security. They think they lose it. They get the higher
they
of
get
the
the
two.
higher.
The higher, yeah.
And they sell their house, and now they have to go into an apartment or a senior apartment. The house is a protected asset if they're in the nursing home. You put the cash in the banks, and now it's at risk. So you have to worry about that. You have to worry about all those type of issues.
I keep going back to even the thing, if having the mortgage, if all you have is Social Security, you can't have a mortgage. The numbers don't work.
Nope.
And if you don't have a mortgage and all you have, not only, you can't have a mortgage and you can't pay rent, because the rent payment is higher than the mortgage
Social
payment.
Well, remember,
Right.
even
If
though
you have a house and all you have to pay is taxes and insurance,
If you have
you
a
can
mortgage,
make it on Social
if
Security.
you have a mortgage, it's a symptom of something much worse. An 80-year-old person should have paid that off years
The
ago.
problem
They're-
is they refinanced when they were
times,
60
million
or when they were
times,
65.
million times.
They were still working. They refinanced. They paid off their credit card debt, which they didn't need to
Yeah.
do. We could have gotten rid of the credit card debt, and now they're stuck. They have no equity in their home. So the moral on that story is, if you're in that mode, whatever you do, do not refinance your house to pay off credit card debt when you're 55 or older without first coming in and talking to someone like Brian, who is not a mortgage broker, who's not going to say everything he can to you to get you to refinance because he wants to make his commission on a mortgage. That's what goes on. Take a break, we'll come back.
Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
For almost 60 years, Samasco Law has been the trusted source for helping families navigate the uncertain world of estate planning and elder law. And now, our firm is growing even stronger with the addition of attorneys Joe Frazard and Kelsey Samasco. 2 more lawyers to make sure your family is protected now and into the future. Call Samasco Law today for a free consultation. Our hardworking team is standing by to provide you peace of mind. Samasco Law. Protect what matters.
If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
THAV GROSS specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
You can't work. You have to deal with pain and stress. Worse yet, our system for applying for disability benefits seeks to deny you the benefits you're entitled. Jeff Kirschner is an expert in obtaining disability and workers' compensation benefits for his clients. You need to call Jeff before you apply or after you're denied to get the benefits you deserve. 888-235-HELP. 888-235-HELP. Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call THAV GROSS.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call THAV GROSS today, 888-235-HELP. Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call THAV GROSS.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call THAV GROSS. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
All right, we're back.
So there is a mechanism to help.
Wait, you mean there's a tool?
You can
Don't
be
call him a tool.
Don't call him a tool.
That's not nice.
What's the mechanism?
Well, when you're at that point where there's only one spouse remaining and they're thinking about having to sell the house, if they're in their late 70s, 80s, it's not really my favorite, but it's called the reverse mortgage.
Oh, so I run into that, but where I get the question is the 72-year-old comes to me where they already have a mortgage, but they have $200,000, $300,000, $250,000 of equity in the home, and they're saying, well, can I do a reverse mortgage? And I say to them, you can run the numbers, but at today's interest rates, at your age, if you got $250,000 of equity, it's probably going to get you about 50 grand.
Well, you get, let's. What is a reverse?
It doesn't solve your
So
problem.
reverse mortgage
Yeah.
is they look at how much money the lender will lend you, either as a line of credit or as a term or as a flat
Fixed
amount to
one.
pay off, and you can use that money to live on, and you have no mortgage payment.
Yeah.
You have the money that they lend you still accrues at interest, and when you leave the house, sell the house, or die, that mortgage comes due. Now, let's say you had a $200,000 house and you're 75 years old. The rule of thumb is you can borrow 65%.
It's based
out
on
of
your
the house.
age.
Take your age, subtract 10 years. That's the percentage roughly that you're allowed to borrow out. So if that amount borrowed out pays off your existing mortgage, now you have no mortgage payment. If this is the house you're going to die in, it's a good opportunity if you
And then
have
all you have to do is
limited
make the
cash
taxes
flow.
and insurance in your
That's
state.
right. You must pay the taxes and insurance. But I tell people, if you got stairs, don't get a reverse mortgage on that house because it's not your last property.
Well, the rule is if you live there, if you vacate the house, then there's a 1-year rule. If you're out, they check on you every year that you're still living in there, and if they check every year and you're not there, then they call the loan. Or if you pass away,
Right.
they
Now,
call
sometimes it's a really good deal for the person who borrowed the money because they borrowed it at 70 and they lived to 103. The lender loses money on that
So
situation.
they take the house or the value. So if the house is worth $300,000 and the reverse mortgage has a balance of $200,000, you sell it and the kids keep the $100,000. They
Right.
don't lose the house,
Yeah.
which all
But
paid
if
for.
the house has a value of
Opposite.
$300,000 and they owe $350,000, the lender's going to foreclose. The kids don't get anything, but
They wouldn't
the
anyway.
mom and dad are got to live in their
Recovered.
house
Yeah.
with no mortgage
And
payment.
that's when they won, back when the housing crisis and the values dropped. All those people that had the reverse mortgages actually won.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can win in that environment. I look at it this way. If you go with the house is paid for, so you have that asset.
But
and
remember,
you're-
that's
and you're-
basically turning the house into a paid-for house.
No. Let's say you already have a house free and clear, and you have no debt, but your income from Social Security is still keeping you very tight. So you get to the point where you've used up whatever savings you have. You're now 83, 84. All you have coming in is Social Security, which isn't really covering enough cash flow for
Right.
you to be happy. You then could reverse mortgage the house.
Yeah.
That's going to give you a chunk of cash out of the house to take you forward from 85 to the time you expire,
Yeah.
and you're good. To me, it becomes a good backup plan
Right.
if you exhaust the savings. But the starting point ideally is you want to start with the house free and clear, zero debt, some cash in the bank and Social Security. But you're saying, but not everybody can do that.
Not everybody can do it. Not
And
everybody
a lot
does
of people
do
they
it.
can't. A lot of like later in life mortgage debt comes from second marriages and new lives, and you got to do. You know, if you're married a long time and you can plan together, it works.
Or you got an
pick up
asshole
an article
kid
right
that's
now.
trying to get money out of you
Yes,
all the time.
absolutely. You pick up an article.
That never happens.
Most people are not able to do that. Most
Right.
people are in this scenario where they're now retiring and they have a mortgage. 20 years ago, that wasn't the
Well,
case.
one of the benefits of today's market, though, in real estate, is that there's been such an increase in equity over the last 3 to 5 years in homes that tool of the reverse mortgage has come back into play.
And just like what Pat was just saying, if you did that and then all that equity evaporates, you're the winner.
Yeah.
Right.
What I see when the parents have those mortgages, mom has the big mortgage, and they can't keep mom at home anymore. She has to go to the nursing home. Well, the house is always protected, right? They don't take the house as long as you have that. What's the name of the deed?
Ladybird.
Deed, which is great. But they don't give you
Wait,
any.
when I said Ladybird, you're supposed to go ding, ding, ding.
Good deal. But they don't give you any money to keep the house going. So the kids have to come up with money to pay the mortgage and the taxes and the insurance and the upkeep. So it's a really bad draw for the kids to be able to help protect that.
Although that house is being protected for their benefit when mom and dad are gone.
Right.
Yeah, so as long as there's equity in that house and it's worth it,
It
it's the right
is.
move.
The problem is you got 4 kids, one has the ability to pay for it and the other 3 don't.
And the other 3 all want their share.
So
when
what
it's
you
sold.
can do is mom and dad have those credit cards that they never use. And of course you're going to pay them back, right? So you can use the credit cards to pay the taxes and the insurance and the things like that.
That's sneaky kind of stuff that we like.
Yeah. And if mom and dad pass away, does anybody owe the debt?
Mom and dad owe the debt. Their
But they
estates
passed
owe the
But
away.
the house
But if-
passed through a Ladybird deed, so there's nobody to go get
I
it.
didn't say that.
If mom and dad's
I didn't
estate
say
doesn't
that.
have any assets in it,
Well,
it's a
There's
shame.
nothing to probate.
Right.
that's the biggest war that I have is ripping the pen out of mom's hand because
Why?
she's
She wants to
dying
pay those credit
for
cards.
her husband's credit card.
All the time we
They're
see that.
never joint credit cards. It's dad's got a credit card that mom uses, or mom's got a credit card that dad.
You know what I tell mom to do? You just write on the bill, deceased,
Yes.
date of death, stick that in the envelope and send it to them. You do that about 4 times in a row, they stop sending you the bill. It's very simple. But you're absolutely right.
Here's a question.
Mom wants to pay that credit card.
I got
more
one
than
question
anything.
after
Hold
the
that
break.
question. Take a break.
Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call THAV GROSS.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call THAV GROSS. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. You can't work. You have to deal with pain and stress. Worse yet, our system for applying for disability benefits seeks to deny you the benefits you're entitled. Jeff Kirschner is an expert in obtaining disability and workers' compensation benefits for his clients. You need to call Jeff before you apply or after you're denied to get the benefits you deserve. 888-235-HELP. 888-235-HELP. Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
Time for announcements. I want to announce THAV GROSS has opened a new office downriver in the Horizon building on Eureka Road. So now we're in Flint, downriver, and also our home office in Bingham Farms. Remember, you can always come in for a free consultation. You can do it by Zoom conference, in the office, any way that works best for you. Just call 888-235-HELP or go to the website, thavgross.com, to sign up. Debt issues, tax issues, estate planning issues, business law issues, elder law issues with Pat or Kelsey, disability issues with Jeff Kirshner. Again, sign up at lawandreality.com or thavgross.com or just call 888-235-HELP. Also, if you go to the website, you'll see there's free reports. Resolving Tax Problems, The Real Solutions by Jeff Linden and myself. Bankruptcy, Is It Right for Me by Brian Small. How to Save Your Home from Foreclosure. Business Formations, Loans and Grants for Small Businesses in Detroit and Michigan. And The Retiree's Guide to Social Security by Pat Simasko. I want to thank our sponsors, THAV GROSS, Simasko Law, Kirshner Law. Now back to the show.
If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
THAV GROSS specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
So we only have one last question for you. If your son passes away before you, do you want his share to go to his kids or your new daughter-in-law?
Talk about inheritance.
Yeah, sweetie, and I'm going to spend it all on you.
The kids.
You've worked hard your whole life to create a lasting legacy for your heirs. Let Simasko Law help you make the right decisions to protect the ones you love. Simasko Law, protecting what means most, because that's what we do.
Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call THAV GROSS.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call THAV GROSS today, 888-235-HELP.
We're back.
So here's a question, Ken. Dad passes away and mom takes money and pays off dad's credit card, and then she comes sees you. What's the chances of the credit card sending the money back to mom?
0.
0.0. So you got to do it before you. Well, my father-in-law
the chances
died.
are 0 unless I pick up the phone and I say, Mr. Credit Card Company, this is Ken Gross from THAV GROSS. By accident, we sent you $4,500. You have 24 hours to refund that money to us, or we're going to contact the Consumer Financial Protection
what's the
Bureau
rule on
and
that?
sick them on you.
What's the rule on that?
Not going to happen.
My father-in-law.
If I
had-
said that to them, they would just have me committed.
My father-in-law had a $45,000 medical bill because he had some big issues when he would, and he passed my wife. She goes, "Hey, get the checkbook." I go, "No way!" And I literally had, and she couldn't believe it. But it dies with the person. It dies unless you're going through probate. They gotta avoid
if there's
probate.
assets in the estate, and the creditor then pursues the claim the right way, Jeff deals with that. They could get paid.
But
The key
that's
is
one of the
you
things
want to
that-
have that estate not have any assets in
Right.
that situation.
When we
Or
do
liquid.
probate estate.
When we do financial protection for clients who have debt and we're trying to keep them uncollectible, we use a lot of different tools like that. The Ladybird deed to pass the house. We will create LLCs in other states that have transfer on death provisions. You do everything you can to make sure nothing goes through the trust. Nothing goes through probate.
Yeah.
Right. But, I mean, for the creditor stuff, like if you end up in probate and there's no cash, you're liquid, you just have an interest in a house. We have one now where somebody else had done this plan where the decedent mother has a fractional interest in the house that's left, and now we're getting claims, credit card claims,
You can wipe
2,000,
them out.
3,000, whatever here. There's no cash. So you know, through probate, they'll still file their claim, but you disallow it, and then they have to actually file a lawsuit.
And they don't.
Then they're not
They
going to
wipe
likely
it
do that
out.
for $2,000.
And for a credit card company that's a gazillion dollars hanging out there, this is not even pennies on the dollar.
Right.
I mean, when my father passed away, before he passed away, he had run up his credit cards, and then I came in and said, took over his finances and also was helping him out. And of course, I'm paying 0 on his credit cards. And when he passed away, none of them brought any. There was no probate estate. I just wrote deceased and sent him
And
back.
that was it,
Before
long gone.
before he passed away, they used to call me up
Every day.
and they'd say, you know, are you willing to settle on the credit
Here's
card?
a question.
And my answer was,
No.
have you seen The Godfather?
Right.
My offer is nothing.
So how long does it take if he stopped making the payments? Does it really take the credit card company to sue you?
You know, from a practical
Will they sue
standpoint,
you, and how long?
so today we're seeing a lot more lawsuits for even balances as low as $2,000 on a credit card. And it takes them roughly 6 to 9 months before they
evolves
pursue
from
From
litigation.
the last payment?
Yeah.
Or is it after they 8,000 phone calls over 3 years,
Well,
and then they sell the
no,
debt,
so-
and
so-
then they
so-
sell the debt, and then they
Again,
sell
the
debt?
collection action is ramping up. The ability to do something about it is still there. But I'm seeing lawsuits between 6 and 9 months after the last payment. And it depends on the lender, of course, too.
You're going to see an ebb and flow. We all know that we have the highest level of credit card debt ever,
Right.
and we have the highest credit card interest rates. That's going to exhaust available credit for millions of people in the next year.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then once you have no available credit, you have no incentive to continue making the credit card payments. You stop paying. The lenders will first come in aggressively, and then they're going to deal with the fallout of their portfolio, and we'll have to see how it flushes out. But that's why you're seeing an increase.
What
in
percent?
receipts.
So if you have a gazillion dollars, what percentage of that gazillion dollars do the credit cards fall into default, would you say? Is it 10% that end up defaulting?
You know,
1%?
I used to be up to
50%?
date on the statistics back in the financial crisis. I don't have it now. It's the percentage is relatively low, but when credit card debt goes out of sync,
So high.
it goes up. It doubles and triples.
it's-
It may be like a 6-7% that goes
Actually,
up.
actually, the default rate in credit cards is less than 2.5% on average. However, the amount in default is massively increasing.
Right.
And it's becoming problematic to everyone.
And you'd think for the credit card company,
That's a
when
lot of
it's
money.
but it is a lot of money. But
Hey
when
Siri,
you look at
what's
it,
the national default rate on credit card debt?
but that credit card company's already been paid over 10 times. See, they got their money 10 times over because the interest rates are so high, and the people have been robbing
On the
Peter to
long-term
pay.
revolving
Yeah,
debt, yeah.
they get their money. This is their
Siri doesn't know.
yeah.
Siri doesn't know. We only have a half minute left, so we don't have time to Google it. Unless Brian can Google it and get us the answer in 25 seconds. Meanwhile, if you have credit card debt, if you have tax problems, that's a situation where they are manageable problems, and you don't want to do what Jerry the bartender says. You want to get good advice as to how to deal with those issues. For example, if your husband passes away,
3.16%.
there you go, 3.16%. Have a great week. We'll be back next week with Law and Reality.